Hi, today I want to talk about solving problems on the Tableau community forum. A couple of days back, I logged in and I found Naresh was looking for help. He had a specific requirement, year to date, month to date, week to date, where the week is starting from Monday. And he was interested, there were a couple of back and forth dialogues between us, and we were interested in finding out something which was starting from Monday. The users would have three options, and the end result, once they chose either of them, a year to date would show an entire year's worth, compare this year, current year, with previous year, find the difference between the metrics of the 2 years and a percentage of difference across products, categories, subcategories, what have you. So, having that problem statement, I use Superstore to arrive at the solution. What you see here is the finished solution. The first step was I used dummy data, a Superstore data that comes shipped with Tableau. The first thing that I did is I ensured that the data source filter is applied and keeps only specific years of data. So I started with previous year, the first day of previous year, and I wanted to make sure that this calculation goes to the lower bound of my data using the formula, and you can find all of these in the workbook that I will be uploading to Tableau Public. I will make it in a way that you could download it and go through each of these formulas. But with that written, I made sure that I'm getting only the data that I want to see. So starting from January 2023 all the way till July of 2024. And that's the data we care about because this year is I'm sitting on July the 18th. So everything up until the 14th is the end of complete week. 8 being the first day of the week goes to, starting from Monday, goes all the way till Sunday. So my lower bound of data will be the 14th of July the 14th. Would be January the 2nd. If I do look at the data, the first Monday of previous year was on January the 2nd, Monday being the first day of the week. That's the requirement. So once that filter was applied, my entire data set is only relevant data. Then what else did I do? Dashboard, analysis, edit calculated fields. I wrote a whole bunch of calculations. Let me show you. I found out the max date for this year because I want to use this calculation time and again. So I wrote it once and I reused it several times. So I named it this year latest. I know this is a silly name, but this is what made sense at that time. So this year, latest end of week. And what else did I write? I wrote a whole slew of calculations. So I found the maximum date for this year. I found the maximum date for previous year. I used the maximum date this year and I subtracted 52 weeks. This calculation does that. Once I found the two maximum dates and my data is already filtered in the relevant space, I wanted to write a parameter that gives my users the options to choose whether it's year to date, month to date, week to date. Then I went ahead and I created a calculation field to use the parameters and arrive at a Boolean outcome. If user chooses year to date, make sure that my order date starts from the first day of the year, the upper bound being already defined. I didn't have to put that explicitly here. It's implicitly done through the data source filter. When it's month to date, same thing. Take me down to the first day of the current month. Today, date trunk month does that. And when it's week to date, give me 7 days worth of data starting from the max date, right? All right. Something similar I've done for my previous year calculation. Here, I don't have to worry about the lower bound because it's already defined in the data source filter. It's an inverse of how we did this year. So if it is year to date, use my upper bound as the max relevant date for my previous year, and then make sure my order date is less than that. If it's month to date, trim it down to the relevant first day of the month and then also make sure that you start from the first day of the month. So this starts from the first day of the month, goes down to the max relevant date. When it's week to date, same thing, goes down to the max relevant date of previous year and starts from 7 days worth of data from the last date of previous. So with this calculation defined, they are returning true false. I could then use these predefined calculations, these created calculations to arrive at the sales dollar. I've wrapped the boolean into an integer to return a 1 for a true and a 0 for a false and multiplied it with my sales. For this year, I've created another calculated field for previous year, and I've then plotted it all in a sheet like so. Let me do it in front of you. I've taken category for shits and giggles, entire view, and then I've thrown in this year sales, previous year sales. The difference is the sum of this year sales minus previous year sales, and I've thrown that in here, and I've calculated the percentage change, which is difference divided by sum of previous year's sales, and I've thrown that in here. And after a slight readjustment, previous year, so the first, see it in a second. Now I have the result. If I did throw in the parameter and I've tested it, I don't, for the sake of time, I don't want to show it to you here, but I've done the due diligence. If I did year to date, it shows me years worth of this year's worth of data. And if I do a previous year, it shows me previous year's worth of data. Month to date, it shows me month of previous year and month to date of this year. And if I did a week to date, I'd have to bring in the weeks again. But you get the idea. And now the solution is ready. I will be publishing this to Tableau Public and share the link in the comments. Do take a look and hope you find this helpful. If you did want more information similar to what I just shared, if you like my videos, give me a thumbs up